What do you know about Gary Peacock? Part-time biker, full-time clown. I have been giggling hard at the special silliness of Gary Peacock. So I just stumbled across this saga of Gary versus Pierce. So what happened is, Gary Peacock is a cyclist, and he's chugging along down the road, getting some cardio in, and a young man named Pierce is going to a skate park, and he passes Gary. But it was a little too close for comfort in Gary's mind. So he was enraged. Gary did what any sane man would do. He hunted him down. He stayed on his ass like a hound dog. He smelt blood in the water, so he started really kicking it into turbo and went following Pierce, and eventually when Pierce parked, Gary came up to the window, got really aggressive with him, started berating him, even yanked on his door a lot. It was like the fucking scene out of Jurassic Park with the T-Rex. And it leads to Gary calling the police. And things don't go the way Gary thought they would when the police arrive at the scene, I'll tell you that much. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yes, sir?
Did you see me?
Pulled off to the side, I did. I have it on dash cam.
Good. You see how close you came to me? You know what the law is?
I did not.
It's 3 feet, asshole.
I was.
No, you weren't.
Say it. Don't spray it, Gary. Man is so upset. He is spitting like an alpaca here. Every word that he gets out is like... He's like ventured to rock bottom from SpongeBob. Did you see me? Asshole? Man's blowing raspberries with his speech.
Okay.
You want to check your dash cam?
Yeah, I have a dash cam.
Check it. What's your name? Last name.
You don't need that.
What's your last name?
You don't need my last name. I don't need an ID.
Plate.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to call the police then.
Why? I have it on dash cam. You're weird.
This was a dangerous move from Pierce here to call the Gary Peacock weird. The enforcer of justice. The man whom even the Lord is a little afraid of. So, Gary Peacock is puffing out his chest here. He is literally peacocking here, trying to fucking flex his meat out here, demanding that this guy identify himself to Gary as if he has any ground to stand on there. Nothing happened. If you boil down this situation, it is literally a nothing burger. You're fighting ghosts. You're having a fantasy in your head that's making you upset. You're right to get mad if he was too close. You could shake your fist, be like, oh, pay more attention. That was scary. But at the end of the day, you wipe the sweat from your brow saying, whew, close call. At least I didn't get hit. Then you pull up your big boy britches and you move on like a grown-up. The only thing that can come from this level of road rage, this outrageous level of anger where it has you going out of your way to hunt down the person to confront them directly, is either you get your ass beat or worse, or it escalates the situation to a degree where you can't come back from it and you end up making a fool of yourself, calling the cops, and getting yourself in trouble. There is no good outcomes from road rage like this, and it's a lesson Gary learns the hard way.
Fine.
I'm gonna go skate.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not going anywhere until the police come.
Dude, stop.
No, you're a fucking...
Dude, literally stop.
No, I'm calling the police and you're not leaving. You're not leaving. You're not leaving.
Bro's got his fucking hands on me and stuff.
Yeah, guy won't leave because of the police.
Look at this dude.
I still can't get over how perfect Gary looks for this role. Like, he looks like someone that you would envision, like picture in your head, if you were told that a cyclist was freaking out over nothing at a skate park. Like, he looks like if you tried to draw some kind of quintessential creepy PE coach. So Gary's taking matters into his own hands now, ripping at the guy's door, trying to prevent him from leaving, putting his hands on him to stop him from moving. All because Gary believes that he was going to flee the scene like it was fucking Need for Speed. He was just going to burn rubber and get out of there for fear of the repercussions that Gary could bring, the unholy hellfire that he would rain down. Even though dude wasn't even trying to leave, he was trying to skate. You know, the activity he came there to do. So he wasn't even leaving the scene. Not that there's even a scene here in the first place, just the scene that Gary's making with the conniption that he's having. He was going 10 feet away to skate, which is what he planned to do, man. He wasn't running away.
What are you doing? Why are you so cranky?
I'm calling the police.
Dude, why are you so cranky?
No, you're not going anywhere.
Oh my god.
You're not going anywhere.
I don't want to be aggressive with you, dude.
You already are. You pushed into me. I asked you to wait. You didn't wait.
I didn't push into
you. Did.
You.
How'd you get out of the car?
You yanked me.
Yeah, I've got a very aggressive teenager here that almost hit me in the car, and now he won't give me his last name, and now he's trying to leave. G, and he's recording me because he's a jerk.
Watch your fucking mouth, Gary. Calling a guy a jerk? You're going a little too far, man. You're rampaging. You're being rambunctious, and you need to calm down. You're gonna say some things you're gonna regret, Gary, if you keep calling people jerks.
And I want you to come and give this guy a ticket. I'd be willing to testify in court against this guy. He came way too close to me. Huh? He did not hit me. There's a law in Utah that says you have to stay 3 feet from a cyclist. He did not. He just went right next to me. I wouldn't bother pulling over if this guy weren't unsafe. Yes, I'm still on my bicycle. He's here. Gary Peacock, you... I
love that he starts reciting law to the police. I know more than you guys, so you might be missing the problem here. No, I wasn't hit, but he was way too close, violating this law, which I'm gonna have to spit to you guys because you're too fucking stupid to get it, I guess. And I love the way he announces, I'm Gary Peacock. Like, I half expected him to strike like a superhero pose like the Crimson Chin. That name fits him so well. That is perfect. That's like a name I would make for one of my Dark Souls characters, like fucking Phil Cheeseburger or something. I cannot believe his name is Gary Peacock.
He's just being aggressive and obnoxious. You leave, you're not part of this.
He put his hands on me, I would say, if I were you.
Yeah, there's another individual and he's just standing there. I'd like to get rid of him. I'm riding a bike. I have more rights than you.
That statement actually goes so hard. I'm riding a bike, I have more rights than you. That shit is like t-shirt level. That is actually fucking hard. Love that. So one of Pierce's friends who he was going to skate there with shows up just to kind of be a witness to this madness. Gary does keep putting his hands on Pierce, so it was good to have a third party just to be sure, you know, make sure things stay civil. And Gary's not too happy about that.
He's just standing here. He's standing there, but I don't feel safe with both of them here.
Friend, he's gonna stay.
He's staying because these two are trying to intimidate me. This guy tried to leave, this guy came, and he's trying to intimidate me.
He's just standing there menacingly. Gary is deeply insecure, I suppose, with this. There's two of them. They must be trying to fucking intimidate me. That's the only explanation. Help! 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 There's two people here and they're looking at me. They're looking at me! Help! Like, there is nothing that's happened. Keep in mind, nothing has happened except for Gary putting his hands on Pierce. That's it. And Pierce isn't the one freaking out.
Are you separate sides of the parties?
Yes.
Okay, if you'll stand over there by those cars.
I'm a complaining party.
Fantastic.
Can I tell you what happened?
Fantastic. Will you go stand over there for a second?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Don't let him leave. He tried to leave already.
Sir, I'm right here. Thank you.
You can just immediately hear how annoyed the officer is to just be here wasting his time with this absolute drivel, this pitiful nonsense. The officer shows up and is already just over Gary's shit. Just the first interaction, he's just like, fantastic, fantastic. Can you just go over there, man? Can you just get the fuck out of here? Can you just go take a hike? Scram. And then as Gary's walking away, he's making sure to give a little backseat gaming here, some advice to the officer. Don't let him leave. And you can see the officer's shadow on the car. He does this. Like, are you serious? He does one of these. And he says, sir.
Later, can I call the district attorney and press charges? Is this so press charges over? I know it's a small incident, but...
Well, and here's the thing.
Thank you.
Sign his citation that you were present for it, and then I'm going to issue you one for disorderly conduct as well. So if you'll just hang tight over on the sidewalk over there,
then I won't press charges.
It's too late.
Speaking of pressing charges, Gary, it seems like you're very hungry for charges. How about you get served some from the menu? Do those taste pretty good? The officer hits him with the disorderly conduct charges. So, I cut out quite a bit here, but Gary insists that Pierce's life gets fucked for this, even though nothing has happened, even though Gary himself admits that it's a small incident, but he wants to salt the earth with it. So, he has point blank said that he wanted Pierce to be arrested. If he'd have it his way, he'd go to jail, was his words. And the officer shows up and, well, that's not exactly something that's going to be happening here because Pierce recorded it. So the officer gets to see that Gary was the instigator, the aggressor, and pretty much everything that had happened was because of Gary, this whole incident. So, uh-oh.
Why am I getting, for what?
Because you were aggressive to him.
Yes, I was, but he was trying to leave.
Okay, go wait over there. I'll explain it here in a second.
Can't we just...
Nope.
Oh, come on, man. I was the victim here.
All right, watch out. We can go a different way, and you can be arrested for disorderly conduct. That's an arrestable offense.
What kind of disorderly conduct is it?
You opened his door 3 times. Okay? He doesn't have to get out of his car for you. He doesn't have to identify for you. You are not law enforcement.
You're right, officer. He's something more than law enforcement. He outranks you. This is Gary fucking Peacock, super cyclist. My voice cracked even saying his name because I'm not worthy. His name commands too much power and too much respect, damn it.
You don't get to come out here and enforce things. You call us and let us do it.
Okay.
He didn't say he was going to leave in his vehicle. He's like, I'm here to skate. I'm going to go skate. He didn't believe he did anything wrong. He's going to provide me the dash cam.
Okay.
He showed me the recording, and you were the aggressive one, not him.
Yes, because he...
Yes, and you don't get to be aggressive with people like that.
Okay.
That's disorderly. That's why you are getting a citation as well.
Why is it too late? What does it mean? What does it mean, disorderly? Do I have to go to court for this? You're kidding me.
Yeah. You were adamant that this, and you were the one causing the stir here.
What if I apologize?
It's too late. I've already seen the evidence. I am obligated.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not be too hasty here. A sorry from Gary Peacock? That's worth more than gold. Let's not get carried away. So you can see that the tables have turned. The shoe is on the other foot now. And it is just so satisfying. It's impossible not to smile watching his tough guy act fall to pieces. That bravado that he marched up there with, thinking that he was in the right and the Pierce was an aggressive asshole, this and that, when really, it turns out he was the aggressive asshole the whole time, and now his behaviors got him in some hot water with this citation of disorderly conduct. Now, it is worth mentioning, Pierce was also issued a citation for passing too close to a biker, but that was dropped. So that seems like something the officer did just to try and like get this, moved on. That didn't stick. However, the disorderly conduct one, well, that one kind of did. Gary Peacock was forced to give like a little half-assed apology. I think he also got fined. I'm not exactly sure. I saw 2 conflicting reports on that. But regardless of what the actual outcome is there, just watching this was a joy. So I had to share this. It had me giggling. That's the story of Gary Peacock. That's about it. See ya. Good luck sleeping tonight with this villain I'm about to put on your radar. You will be trying to snooze with one eye open and one eye on your phone, looking for any Ring doorbell alerts. Because there's a menace on the loose. There's a maniac afoot, and SpongeBob isn't here to catch him yet. We're talking about the Porch Pooper. An elusive, nefarious scoundrel that's leaving undesired presence on the front door of one man in particular at the moment. But this could be just the beginning of a crime spree.
You probably heard of porch pirates, but what about porch poopers? Don't know any other way to say it.
I can think of like 100 other ways to say it. Why didn't you just ask me? But I will say, porch pooper I think is very solid. That's a great alliteration that just flows off the tongue. But I've got some cool names for this cryptid. Feel free to use them. The patio shadio. Spready Fazbear. Poop Shitman. I'm partial to Poop Shitman myself. It sounds like the name of a Kojima character, like Die Hard Man.
Right now, LMPD is looking for a man who has been using the bathroom on Louisville homeowner's porch all week long. Ward Jollish tracked down the homeowner and spoke with him about being targeted by a porch pooper.
That's the last kind of person you want to be targeted by. That's like being hunted down by Jason Bourne right there. A porch pooper has set his sights on this one homeowner in particular for no reason that they can figure out yet. It seems like random act of shit.
Listen, a warning. Well, we won't show you everything, okay? We won't show you everything. Some may be grossed out by this video.
When I first watched this, I actually thought this was about to be some kind of like sly plug for their Patreon or something, or like exclusive membership content on their YouTube channel. Look, we're not going to show you everything here, but sub to the Patreon or join on YouTube and you get the full ass blasto experience here, poop and all. More butt cheek and more feces than you can handle. Enjoy to your heart's content. But it's just her letting viewers know, like, hey, there's a dude fucking squatty pottying on this guy's front door, and even though we censored it, it's still kind of yucky.
It all started with this. Sunday night, a young man in a red shirt walks up to one Louisville home well after midnight and begins peering inside. The homeowners have no clue. After a few seconds, the man runs away in his socks and disappears into the night. But the next night, he returns and leaves a horrific surprise.
There's a lot to unpack here. If you ask me, it doesn't seem like he's in his right mind. He's got to be under the influence of something, it looks like. Because he's approaching the door and he starts doing this with his hands like he's fucking putting binoculars on to see inside of it, about to use X-ray vision or something. I know it's an effective strategy when you actually get to the door so you can see in a little bit better and focus, but he was doing it like from way too far away for that to be useful at all. And then, of course, you have to be off your goddamn gourd to take a shit on a stranger's doorstep. But what's even weirder about this is that it was a premeditated shitting. It wasn't like some kind of impulse thing where he just had the bubble guts and just couldn't hold it in anymore, the dam broke. He went to the house one night, cased the joint basically, scoping out the scenery, making sure it's like the optimal place to take a shit. Came back the following night after cooking it up, like charging his alt for 24 hours, and then released the payload. Like, he just took the dump the following night. So this was something that he had planned out from the sound of it. And looking at the footage, he was wearing the same outfit. At least if this footage is the proper timeline, where he went to the house first just looking at everything, and then came back the next night taking the shit, he's wearing the exact same clothes, so he didn't even like bathe or change in that time.
Tuesday morning, I went out to my front porch and noticed this, what I thought was a cat poop.
The homeowner, who wishes to remain anonymous but who we'll refer to as Jim, then checked his doorbell camera and realized it was no cat at all.
And it turned out to be a person. And not only did he defecate, but he also urinated on our welcome mat.
This seems personal, but the homeowner Jim has no idea who this guy is or why he would do this in the first place. And to make matters even worse, I'm pretty sure I have that exact same pair of pants that the porch pooper is wearing. So I may have been burgled by this gentleman. Maybe he broke into my house in the middle of the night, stole my pants, and left a fucking surprise somewhere that I haven't found yet. And now he's wearing my pants while shitting around the town.
What's even more disturbing is that the man returned a third time the very next night. Jim got an alert on his phone and tried to confront him, but the man was already gone.
You have no idea who this guy is or why he's doing this?
I have no idea. We're good neighbors. We, keep to ourselves. We behave ourselves. And
he was visited 3 times, like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. But the only gift he was given was the gift of a fucking colon cleansing on his front porch. And in all 3 instances captured on the doorbell camera, he's wearing the same clothes. This guy didn't bathe or change over the course of 3 different public shitting incidents. His hygiene stinks. This guy fucking super sucks. I imagine him going around town, he has like this cartoonish stink cloud that follows him around. He is probably unbearable to be near. Holy shit.
Jim has now filed 3 police reports for each night his home has been targeted, but so far, no arrest. Just a big mess he's now forced to clean up.
I'm relieved that he's not violent or he's not trying to force entry. He's just doing his deed. But it's very disconcerting and disturbing.
In Louisville, Ward Jollis, Wave News.
Now, I did wonder if the news broadcast had just repeated footage here when they did the side-by-side, because it looks so similar. He goes to pretty much the exact same spot, like down to the millimeter, and he spends about the exact same amount of time shitting, which I find to just be highly unlikely, unless this guy is some kind of anus specialist, the butt whisperer, and he's trained his ass to be extremely strict with how long shitting takes. Then it just seems weird that it's pretty much the exact same across all three instances. But it is very possible, because when he's, to debunk myself, when he stands up in some of the shitting there, he reacts differently. So like in one of them, he looks at the door, and the other one, he doesn't and just immediately looks to the left and goes away. So it probably is separate instances. I just still find it shocking how consistent he was with it. Same position, same location, same duration, and same clothing. It's like when he's not shitting on this guy's front porch, he just enters stasis and then comes back the next night in the exact same outfit and everything. It's just so peculiar. So yeah, hopefully they catch the porch pooper sooner rather than later. I'd hate to see more homes ruined by such foul fecal matter being spread haphazardly like this in locations where it shouldn't be. So yeah, hopefully Jim no longer has to deal with this porch pooper, and I just wanted to make you all aware of this so you can take precautions. If you hear a rumbling of a tummy in the middle of the night, sprint to your front door ASAP, because you might be able to catch the porch pooper. Yeah, so that's about it. See ya. I talk about a lot of worthless nonsense that I just find goofy and entertaining, but what I'm about to talk about today, what I'm about to start yapping and blabbering on about, has to be a new gold standard for the most trivial. This is more meaningless than a filler arc in Naruto, yet I can't help but care about it. Like, my voice is cracking because I'm almost embarrassed that I actually care. I read about this, like, right before leaving the gym, and for some reason I thought about it the entire drive home. So I got home, put my Skechers down, because I'm one of the few people under the age of 60 and over the age of 9 that wear Skechers, and I just marched up here and I'm like, you know what? I need to talk about it. So it's about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm sure all of you know that name. He's one of the biggest celebrities in America. I don't think you could find a place in this nation that hasn't at least heard of The Rock. Yeah, fucking Narnia probably knows about this guy. He is huge. And he recently posted an Instagram video that seemed innocent enough on the surface, but if you dive a bit deeper, it actually gets quite nefarious. It's about his supposedly first time trying In-N-Out. In-N-Out is a fast food chain. I'm sure a lot of you know that. It has like a cult-like following. People love In-N-Out. They fight tooth and nail for the honor of In-N-Out. Like, when I've tried it, and I thought it was fine. I didn't think it, like, changed my life or anything. It didn't make me more attractive or taller. It wasn't a game changer, but it was fine food. But some people go crazy for it. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson apparently just tried it for the first time. Let's see what that looks like. I don't want to let the audio play because it's just DMCA music. And basically the whole video is him going to In-N-Out drive-thru and people just going crazy to see The Rock. This is supposed to be his cheat meal with In-N-Out, and it's his first time ever trying it. He's going to see what all the hype's about. But basically the whole video kind of plays out like autofellatio. It's The Rock just sucking his own dick, like, hey, you just call me handsome? I don't speak Spanish. Is that what you said to me? That kind of thing. And then he makes his order here, he gets like his big meal. It's just complete throwaway garbage here. There's more empty calories in this video than there is in the french fries that The Rock is buying here. The video is honestly less about In-N-Out and more about just The Rock being famous. Like, this whole video is just The Rock showcasing he's famous and filming people's reaction to them seeing him in all of his benevolent glory. He is an angel, and he is blessing them with his presence. He couldn't even be bothered to do the bare minimum of eating the meal on camera, so we were denied a Rock mukbang. What a shame. But here's his caption: "My first ever In-N-Out burger experience. Rolled up in my pickup and tried to be cool AF with my order." And then emojis for car and sunglasses. God. But I didn't know the lingo. Didn't know who to pay, where to pay. I didn't know shit. What do you mean you didn't know the lingo? You just place an order. I don't know why he's pretending. You know, it's not like this is complicated jargon. But I'm a quick study. Loved everyone's positive vibes in there. Holy shit, it's The Rock energy. God, he just can't... No one has The Rock's dick in his mouth more than he does. Like, good God. Goodness gracious. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? It's his own wiener. Oh my lord. His favorite meal. Love the grub. And love how everyone in the drive-thru looked at me like I have 3 heads when I gave them a tip. Thank you, In-N-Out, for being awesome. I'll see you down the road. So it clearly reads like it's supposed to be some kind of promotional thing for In-N-Out here. And it's all just standard celebrity trash, but this is the 3rd time he's done it. He keeps pretending that he's trying In-N-Out for the first time every couple of years. Why? Why are you lying about that? You could just say, like, I love In-N-Out, so I'm going back to In-N-Out. Let's go. Can't wait for more In-N-Out. Why does it always have to be your first time? We know it's not. So there was 2 articles written about this, like, why does The Rock keep lying about it? And I have no fucking idea. Why would you just keep lying about it being your first time going to In-N-Out? The other 2 videos are still on your Instagram page. It makes no sense to me. It's like the weakest lie ever. I remember when I was a child, I used to do lies like this for April Fool's Day, where I would tell my friends that the Buccaneers quarterback Brad Johnson was retiring, and they'd be like, is he really? And I go, nope, I gotcha. It's like, what? Why are you even lying about that? It's so lame.
Is history in the making. It is Sunday night, approximately 11 p.m. It is Cheat Meal Sunday for all of us around the world, certainly for me here. And the reason why this is history in the making is because this is the very first time that I have ever tried an In-N-Out burger, or In-N-Out fries, or anything from In-N-Out for that matter. Now, I've picked up some In-N-Out burger before through the drive-thru a few times for some buddies of mine. I've never tried it, so this is a first.
That's such a convenient excuse. I've been through the drive-thru, but I've never actually eaten it. I've only ever picked it up for other people. That's like the timeless classic of, oh no, those aren't my drugs. I was actually just holding them for a friend. Now, he has a post from 2017, once again, through the In-N-Out drive-thru, but he doesn't have any evidence of him eating the meal, so I guess I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt if he tried the In-N-Out meal when he bought it for the people in his vehicle. I would wager a guess that he has, because he keeps pretending like he doesn't even know what the fuck In-N-Out is, practically. He doesn't know how to go through the drive-thru or how to pay, according to his most recent Instagram post. So I don't know if the Men in Black keep coming around and neuralizing him every time he eats In-N-Out so he forgets entirely, or if this is just the weirdest marketing idea ever. I don't really get it. But I have said for about 5 or 6 years now that The Rock is the fakest celebrity in Hollywood. I truly believe that. I grew up a huge fan of The Rock. In the WWE, he was probably one of my favorites. Not up there with Kane, but pretty close. He cut the best promos. And to this day, if I had a nickel for every single time I said, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Or if I imitated the people's elbow, man, shit, I'd be able to own In-N-Out by now. Like, he had a big impact on my childhood, but as he made it more into the mainstream consciousness, and as his fame grew, I feel like his soul kept getting chipped away at, whittled away, and now he's just this husk, this hollow shell that PR firms speak through. Like, every time he tries to vocalize something that's supposed to resemble his own thought or opinion, it feels like the most PR speak shit ever. Like, all of these PR suits are just using him like a fucking fleshlight, like this puppet, a ventriloquism act, where they are talking through The Rock. What really cemented that for me was when he went on Joe Rogan recently. I haven't listened to Rogan in quite a long time, but when The Rock was on, I was very interested to see if he would finally come out of his shell here and actually speak his mind. And he barely spoke at all. The whole episode was mainly crickets. Like, he barely engaged with anything because it seems like The Rock only vocalizes what his team allows him to. Like, it has to be the most filtered responses and statements imaginable. He's just so fucking fake, and this In-N-Out madness was just a cherry on top of it. Another thing, I'm getting way off topic now, but another thing with The Rock that always rubbed me the wrong way since it happened was about a year ago, he was a brief guest on Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. So he was there to promote the Black Adam trailer, but Summer Games Fest was supposed to be like a celebration of games and talking about all of that. And The Rock sent in a video that he absolutely threw together in like 30 seconds, but he couldn't even go through that video without plugging his own fucking drink. Like, come on, you're already there just to promote a movie and you're still going to promote something else as well? He only has one mode, and that's sales mode. That's it. He didn't engage with the community at all. He couldn't even pretend to care about Summer Games Fest or Jeff Keighley's production or really gaming in general. He just can't even put on a facade that he gives a fuck about anything beyond just selling himself. Like, even in this In-N-Out clip that I showed you, the second one where he pretended that he, trying it for the first time, let me show you how it actually ends. Check this out.
They're called double doubles, loaded with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles, and cheese. Of course, we got fries here. Get this. The fries are good. So we're off to a good start. Now, the question becomes, I have the one and only Teremana tequila. What is gonna pair best with, yeah, you know what? I'm the founder of Teremana, so fuck it. We make up the rules. So I'm gonna go with Blanco and Reposado. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure this is. My very first In-N-Out burger. Ah, that is a good combo. Here we go.
Yeah, he couldn't even eat a meal without plugging his own shit. That's all he is doing anymore. He just says what his PR firm wants him to say, nothing else, never doing anything that even resembles like his actual personality or his actual thoughts. And then he is just constantly selling his own products and selling himself. That's it. Like, that is so fucking sad. So yeah, just a really weird thing here that he keeps pretending that he's never had In-N-Out. So every year or a couple of years, he'll be like, oh, I'm trying In-N-Out for the first time. In fact, I'm pretty sure he even ordered the same exact thing last week as he did in this video from 2022, the one I just showed you. I'm pretty sure he made the exact same order as well. So he's probably a regular at In-N-Out. Like, he has his order down to a science. I just don't get why he keeps pretending for that. But I'm also not surprised because he actually is just super fake across the board. So yeah, just wanted to talk about it a little bit. A super, super meaningless topic that I just got passionate about. That's it. See ya. I didn't really have any interest in seeing The Rock's new movie, Red One. It just looked like a Christmas movie that I'd forget about 5 minutes after watching it. But then I saw an interesting headline that caught my eye. The Rock says Oppenheimer inspired him to film Red One for IMAX. It can be game over. Scratching at the hair on my chinny chin chin, I let out an actual Santa Claus belly laugh of ho 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 reading that. Because The Rock has become such a pretentious douchebag. I made a video going over all of his embarrassing shenanigans and like all of the weird lies he keeps telling for the sake of like products and stuff. I feel like he's become less human and more of just like an actual flesh puppet for any product in the world that wants a mouthpiece. He also just plays himself in every single movie that he's in, and he's also in every single movie. The only actor that has been in more films than The Rock is Jack Black. Jack Black has become like the movie industry darling who they shoehorn into every possible film that they even ideate on. Like, I feel like at this point Jack Black is going to be cast for the voice in my head. It's just, between The Rock and Jack Black, they have more movies between the two of them than half the world has in total films produced. It's crazy. But I'm getting sidetracked. Point is, this headline had me so curious how The Rock with a straight face could compare Red One, a Christmas movie about him and Chris Evans punching snowmen, saving Christmas, to Oppenheimer. I feel like these two films couldn't possibly be more opposite. And now the movie has come out. It's not exactly doing extremely well when it comes to the reception here. It's not, you know, going ballistic in the box office or anything. I just saw the movie, so I want to give you my review and tell you if I found the Oppenheimer influence in there. Spoiler alert, I did not. But before getting into like my thoughts on the movie, I want to go over exactly what he was saying in regards to Red One versus Oppenheimer. So it comes from this little sizzler here, where he did like a minute-long breakdown of why you should be seeing Red One in IMAX. I'd play the video, but it has music in it that I'm pretty sure is DMCA, so I'm just going to read the transcript of it. He said, "With Red One, our intention was to make a movie that you can enjoy on the biggest screen possible. Legitimately, the biggest screens possible, well, they're IMAX. I was midway through shooting Red One. I had an opportunity to go watch Oppenheimer, and I watched it in the IMAX theater where Christopher Nolan watches and screens his movies, him and Emma, his wife. I even asked, let me sit where Chris is sitting. So they said Chris sits here to enjoy the movie. So I sat where Chris sat. I watched Oppenheimer. It was amazing. But I was thinking, holy shit, this thing, Red One on this screen with this technology can be game over. I remember texting Jake, and I sent him a picture first of my bare chest, and then I sent him a picture of the screen. We just had a great conversation afterwards about just how cool it's going to be. It's going to be very cool." Wowee, what a story. A thrilling tale indeed. My heart breaks for whatever employees have to interact with The Rock to fulfill these fucking requests. Like, man, just take a seat. Why do you have to sit in the same throne that Christopher Nolan sits in to watch movies, man? Just sit there and watch a film. It just makes me roll my eyes reading something like that. I needed to sit where Chris and his wife sit, of course. I needed to wiggle my butt cheeks into the same ass creases that Christopher Nolan's cheeks graced. It's imperative to my viewing experience of Oppenheimer. And that's when I had my eureka moment. As I was sitting there watching Oppenheimer, great movie by the way, I couldn't stop thinking about my Christmas film, Red One. When the bomb went off for the first time in Oppenheimer, the bomb in my noodle went off at the same time, and I thought, IMAX, the big screen, watching St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, launch the reindeer on the big screen with me, The Rock, flexing with my polar bear sidekick. That could really be game over. It's just cringe. Bottom line is, it's just embarrassing to read that. And The Rock does this shit all the time. Anyway, though, I just got back from seeing Red One, so I want to give you my thoughts on it. Because I wasn't going to see it till I read this interview, and I just felt obligated to at least give it a chance if The Rock is loosely comparing it to Oppenheimer when it comes to IMAX experiences. I'll be honest, I went in there expecting this shit to be poop. The reviews were not being kind to it. And again, I wasn't very interested from the trailers. It just felt like a throwaway cash grab. Speaking of cash, this movie had a $250 million budget. Who greenlights this shit? Why? Why? Like, actually, what kind of galaxy gas are you huffing? That's craziness. $250 million for a Christmas movie that really no one has been asking for. It just makes no sense. I feel like there's absolutely some shady dealings going on when it comes to these budgets for something like this in particular, because there's no excuse for it. I think a large part of this money went to The Rock, Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons, Lucy Liu. It has a star-studded cast for no reason. It's a movie that I don't feel any of them even wanted to be a part of at all. Like, it really just feels like they kind of just phoned it in here. Like, there's nothing special, and yet it was $250 million, which means it is one of the larger budget movies that's been made. Like, Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, had less budget than fucking Red One. It's inexcusable. It is so gross. But at the end of the day, how was the movie? Was it good? No. Was it bad? No. It was just mid. As I expected, it was just a movie that was okay, and I will forget about by tomorrow, because it's just not very good. I'll at least say it was interesting. I haven't seen a Christmas movie this unhinged before. Like, I truly don't know who the audience is. I want to get that out of the way up top. I don't know who this movie is made for. It's a PG-13 movie, but it's like a harder PG-13. Like, they use their fuck in it. Yet, it's supposed to be like a family-friendly Christmas film, I think. At least sometimes it's trying to be. But I think it's too much for, like, toddlers, because Krampus is in here and he's like a demon guy, so they'd probably be really afraid of him and like all of the demon guys around him. Like, it's a little much for a kid to be sitting through, especially because there is like a lot of strong language like in the film, surprisingly. And yet it's also not good enough to be enticing for an adult audience, because the comedy doesn't work. The comedy is huge misses across the board. The comedy is not hitting. It is shitting big time. And also, the action is super weak. Like, there is some action here, but it's not good. Like, it's one punch, maybe two punches, and that's like an entire fight sequence. So it doesn't really have anything that I think adults will be entertained by either. It has impressive visuals, which, you know, thank God you would hope would be the case with $250 million. But again, there's nothing here that I think appeals to adults or kids. And I also think, like, the demographic in the middle is also not even going to be interested in seeing this at all, because it is just like at least it puts on the appearance of a family-friendly Christmas film and not much else. I don't know who this is supposed to appeal to. I don't. And it was pretty clear with the theater's attendance. I was there almost entirely by myself in one of the biggest theaters at the theater I went to. One of the biggest auditoriums. When I was picking out the tickets, there were only, I think it was 6 occupied seats, and I showed up late. So I got there at like 9, 10, and the movie had started at 9, and thus I would imagine everyone who was going to see it had already got their tickets and was in there. There was only 6 I think it was either 6 or 8 filled seats when I was getting ticket. That's crazy. $250 million, and you can't even put asses in the seats with this kind of star-studded cast. You have failed. And I think the age of like Hollywood superstars guaranteeing box office successes is long behind us, which I think is a good thing. But I mean, damn, this was like shocking to me too, because I thought it would probably still do decently with this kind of star power, but it doesn't seem like it will be. So again, I don't know who the audience is. It seems like the audience doesn't exist in the first place. And even if there was an audience there, I feel like they'd still just be disappointed. It'd be a letdown. It's just not a very good movie. I will say it is interesting though, like it is unhinged. So the concept is Chris Evans plays this superstar tracker hacker. He's like a dark web guy who gets hired by, you know, some weirdos to track people down that no one else can find. He gets an anonymous buyer who needs his services to find someone in the North Pole. So he hacks in there and he finds Santa Claus for our bad guys. And Santa Claus gets kidnapped. Now, Santa Claus, he lives in the North Pole with like a giant invisible dome that protects it so you can't just stumble across it. And when you go inside the dome, it's fucking Midgar. Santa Claus lives in Midgar from Final Fantasy, like almost 1-to-1. He's like in Shinra Tower. It's I was stunned. Like I felt like they had just lifted Final Fantasy VII like remake cutscene in there for Santa Claus's domain. And also in Santa Claus's domain, there's like fucking aliens that live there. Like there's aliens, there's sentient animals like the polar bear enforcer. There's like penguins that work for him as well, and they can all talk and communicate. There's trolls. Trolls live there as well, and like there's like a whole team of troll hackers. Like they are trolls who are like cybersecurity experts. There's like little goblin things. I was immediately very surprised with the direction this was going. So, I mean, credit where credit is due. I thought that was kind of cool and silly. Like, why the fuck are there aliens living with Santa? And I also did like their technology. They have unfathomable Warhammer 40K level tech at their disposal, which you can see like a little bit of in the trailer. So I thought those two things were cool. But aside from that, there's really not a whole lot else to like. Again, the visuals are cool, but the story sucks. The story's real bad. It's as predictable as you can possibly imagine. It follows exactly what you think it's going to follow from the very beginning of the movie. I feel like everyone who watches this is going to know exactly how it's going to play out, which I guess can be fine if the journey getting there is good, but it's really not. Like, I do like when the snowmen come in, because it's cool, right? And the snowmen have like an ice sword. I wish the fight was better, aside from like one punch and like one jab with the sword, but whatever. The Rock's got Ant-Man technology, so he shrinks and extends, and, you know, that's cool. But they don't really do a whole lot with it. Like, the fight scenes are super short. For $250 million, you might as well have just really gone hog wild with the action. Like, that could have helped elevate it, but they didn't really do that. But I do like, I guess, the sense of adventure, because you have the snowman there, and then they visit Krampus, who's doing a slapping competition, which, I mean, that's near and dear to my heart with professional slapping, of course, but that's also highly underutilized. There's only like 2 slaps that get thrown, and that's it. Like, come on. It's just, I feel like everything it wanted to do, it just did extremely lazily. It's all just so flat and soulless. Again, it's not even horrible. It's not even like a terrible movie. It's just such a bland and really misguided one. Definitely not up there with Oppenheimer, I can comfortably say now after having watched it. And yeah, I don't know what the Rock is smoking, to be honest with you. I can't smell what the Rock is cooking anymore, man. It's sad. But yeah, Red One is okay, I guess. It's just mid. I don't know why you'd see it, really. Like, I guess maybe if it was on streaming services and you just wanted some background noise for the holidays that's loosely related to Christmas, I guess that could fill that role. But aside from that, I don't know the point of it. I really don't. That's about it. See ya. I make a lot of predictions 9 times out of 10, they're wrong. Not proud of that, wish I was better at it, but, you know, I'm no Baba Vanga, because if I was, I'd have every prediction be wrong. So, I'll take the occasional victory, and one thing that I predicted and have been proven right about time and time again over the years is that once you reach a certain level of status in any given industry, it is impossible to fail. You only fail upwards. Not exactly a prediction, more so just a hard truth where once you're an elite member of an industry, you can't get knocked down at all. It's impossible. It's like fucking Derek Zoolander, but instead of being unable to turn left, you're unable to go down. You're unable to, like, look downwards. You can only continue to fail going up the ladder. It's incomprehensible. It is a phenomenon that defies all logic. Why would someone who is bad at their job, a terrible leader that leads companies into financial ruin, just draining them of ham, like constantly just hemorrhaging money, bleeding out, why would that person continue to land new jobs in equal or higher power than their previous one? Anyone else who is bad at their job gets fired. They get let go. But not when you become like a CEO, a COO, or anything to that level. You just go to another company as a COO or a CEO. The perfect textbook example of this is still John Riccitiello. He was the CEO of EA for a little while. He rose to infamy when he pitched this absolute fucking heater of an idea. I'm talking galaxy brain, like 5D chess move, where he pitched the idea of charging gamers for ammo. So if you ran out of ammo in a Battlefield game, there'd be like a pop-up that would say you need to pay $1 for your next magazine. Like, that was his idea. Like, I don't think he was ever fully going to go through with that, but that was the example he gave on how you can constantly be like milking the titty of everyone who buys an EA product. He was too greedy for even EA, so he was let go, and then landed a job at Unity. He became CEO of Unity, and I know you remember how disastrous that was, because he nearly drove that company into the fucking ground. He nearly banished it to the Shadow Realm with how horrible his leadership was there. And there's plenty of examples of this. I still think he's the best. But why I'm talking about it today is because Disney just announced that it's looking at candidates for the CEO position since Bob is leaving again. And one of the people they're considering is the EA CEO, Andrew. They're looking at Andrew at EA. What in tarnation, why on God's green earth would you be putting your peepers on Andrew Goober Wilson for the CEO position of Disney? EA has been one of the most consistently hated companies in the world for over a decade now. If Umbrella Corporation was a real entity, it would probably have a better reputation than EA currently does. It is a company that no one likes, except for shareholders. So Andrew Wilson has done a good job at EA for shareholders and nobody else. And you know what Disney really needs right now? Is a good reputation with anyone that's not a fucking shareholder, because people are getting really tired of what Disney's been shitting out. They have been pooping out slop, and a lot of people are tired of the stink. They're tired of smelling the shit. So Disney, I don't think, is needing an Andrew Wilson, cartoon villain here that's going to... Andrew Wilson, the reason why I said he's good for shareholders is because the EA price under him has raised pretty significantly. But I feel like Disney right now, what they really need is some slam dunks in products and properties that people really start to like again, because they are missing that entirely. Star Wars, for example. Holy Lord, what a fart in the wind. Most people don't care about Star Wars at all anymore. Most people roll their eyes when it comes to Star Wars. Like, look at Outlaws. That was an open world Star Wars game. Of course, it did have Ubisoft on there, so it was already doomed for mediocrity out the gate. But nobody was hyped for Star Wars Outlaws. Like, there was a time when Star Wars was a guaranteed home run. Now, most of them are flopping. At least from what I can tell, like the Acolyte, that was what, $230 million budget, and it raked in, according to the most recent financial reports that I can find online, $46 million. So it lost like a total of $180 million. Like, come on, let's put on our thinking caps right now. It's not an issue of, oh my God, we need to start figuring out ways to nickel and dime the remaining customers we have. The solution is, how do we start making quality products again that people actually want to watch or purchase or get engaged in? Like, grow up. Like, God, Jesus. Andrew Wilson is not the solution to that problem. Andrew Wilson is not the one that people are going to be like excited for at the helm of Disney. People don't like him because people don't like EA. Now, to give credit where credit is due, I vaguely recall Andrew Wilson pushing back against some investor-led horrible ideas in a bad direction for some of the titles over the last decade or so. I'm foggy on the details, but I do remember reading about it a while back that he did actually make some decisions that I think it was something about like allowing the developers a little more creative freedom under the EA umbrella. Again, I don't remember all the details, but it's not like he's been nothing but mustache twirling evilness. But first and foremost, Andrew Wilson's priority is not good games. Never has been. It's been figuring out the live service model, because I believe it's 71% of EA revenue comes from live service games. So it's always been trying to figure out the way to maximally monetize every single person who sits down to play an EA game. And there have been some good games that have come out over the years, and even live service games like Apex Legends from them. But overall, and Apex Legends is unfortunately getting run into the ground in recent times, but overall, Andrew Wilson is not a CEO that I think anyone thinks of and looks at as someone who actually cares about delivering quality products. It's about delivering big returns to the investors first and foremost, and that's about it. And I feel like in Disney's current state, they need someone that actually wants to start pushing them forward into good shit again, instead of just the same recycled formulaic garbage that they've been doing for the last, I don't know how many years, but they've just been on autopilot for a little while, going through the motions, and now it seems like, you know, it's getting to that point where something's got to give. Like, they've got to start changing something, and they're looking at someone like Andrew Wilson to maybe be the leadership to do it. I don't think he is. I really don't. And in all fairness, this isn't really an example of someone failing upwards. I mean, he definitely failed in making EA a company that anybody respects. Like, EA is constantly spit on, but he hasn't failed in a financial sense or failed to the same degree as other CEOs like John Rizzitiello. So it's not failing upwards per se in this case, but it is still just weird to me how he'd even be considered for this position. Like, I don't understand why the pool of candidates is so small that you're always seeing the same names over and over again, even if they have a resume of stinkers. Another great example, and sticking on the Disney topic, is they have greenlit a new Star Wars trilogy, and they've already chosen who's going to be the writer and producer. It's someone named Simon Kinberg. And if that name rings any bells, it's because you probably still have trauma from his extraordinarily embarrassing pile of garbage that many consider to be one of the worst comic book movies ever made, Dark Phoenix, where he was the writer, producer, and director. Going through his entire catalog here, where he's only directed a couple of films, but he's been a writer and producer for a long time, it's more misses than hits. Like, XXX State of Union, I loved it when I was a kid. I don't know if it's aged well. But he also did X-Men 3, The Last Stand, another absolutely despised movie, but then there's something good in there with Jumper. There's the Sherlock Holmes movie, which some people liked, some people didn't. First Class, which was good. Then Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Oh my god, like, just look at this resume. Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four. Again, one of the comic book movies that people to date still believe is one of the worst ones. In fact, among like the top 5 worst comic book movies ever made, Fantastic Four and Dark Phoenix are on every single list. This is the Fantastic Four film from 2015 that had the number 4 in the name, not the like old one with Jessica Alba. And he was not only a writer and producer on both of them, but even directed one of them too. Like, his resume isn't very good. Like, the good movies that he's a part of, he's usually a producer on, not a writer-producer on. Was this really the best possible writer-producer they could find for a new trilogy of Star Wars films? I don't think so. I don't understand how someone that has a resume like that, with so many super stinkers like Dark Phoenix and Fantastic Four and a couple of others on there, get chosen to make something like this, the new Star Wars trilogy. Like, it's not like those movies that he'd written and produced were just received terribly by the audience. They were turbo box office bombs that lost the studios millions upon millions of dollars. Now, I do understand that he helped co-create Star Wars Rebels, which does have a positive reception from what I can tell. I've never watched Rebels, but I do know the name. But even still, if you look at his resume, I don't think this was necessarily the best possible choice to spearhead a new Star Wars trilogy operation. That doesn't really get me salivating thinking, oh, this could be like a good Star Wars new trilogy. Like, I just don't have that impression because I'm familiar with a lot of his work and most of it's trash. It just really seems like if you somehow break through to that level where you're a writer-producer on a Hollywood project, it doesn't matter what you do from that point forward because you will always still somehow be able to find work of equal or greater level. And I just don't get it because it's not like by merit or anything. It doesn't seem like, from what I can tell, Simon was the one that was like pitching Disney on this and they just really liked the direction, so they said, okay. It seems like it was Disney that chose Simon to write and produce for them. So, like, it's not like he did anything extraordinary, that he has a great idea and a great script and everything that Disney just had to buy. It just, I don't get it. I really don't understand how failing upwards is even a thing. And yeah, I just had to rant about this a little bit because I'm so tired of seeing like the same names that have been in the industries for so long and have done so many things wrong continue to get huge positions at companies going forward, because then there's nothing to be like excited about. Like for the future of Disney, if they choose Andrew Wilson, it's not like I think there's going to be some kind of drastic change. I feel like it's just going to be business as usual, but emphasis on the business, where Andrew Wilson's going to be prioritizing like cutting jobs, reducing staff, and trying to maximize monetization on like Disney Plus and all of that. Not exactly an emphasis on let's start making some really quality stuff. I could be wrong. I guess we'll find out if they go with Andrew Wilson, what direction he takes it. But it's someone whose work I am familiar with, and that is what he is known for. He is the shareholders' hero, but the gamer's pariah, because nobody likes EA. It has a terrible reputation. So, again, he's not exactly an example of failing upwards per se, because he hasn't failed, but it does just, like, this whole topic is something I just wanted to speak on, because it is common for people that do fail at, like, a high level to continue to just keep getting more and more and more and more power and bigger positions. It's silly. So, yeah, that's really about it. See ya. This week I saw something so baffling that it's really genuinely making me question if the human brain is devolving, becoming smoother, less wrinkles. It's the case of the TikTok giant. For those that don't know, there was a TikTok creator who filmed a giant, mysterious figure on top of a mountain. Was it Sasquatch? Was it the Loch Ness Monster? Perhaps Goatman? No. He claimed that he had seen a giant, and TikTok absolutely ate that up. They devoured it like it was a full course of spaghetti and meatballs. Not only TikTok though, it then expanded to Twitter, where even more people started to believe that they had just seen irrefutable proof of a giant, because there was something on top of a mountain that was big. This whole thing is like a child believing the tooth fairy's real because when they put their tooth under their pillow, there's a quarter there. It is easily debunked and has been multiple times now, but then they just throw away the truth that's facing them because they prefer to live in the magic of there being giants walking amongst us here. It's a beautiful delusion, albeit very sad too, because people are also convinced that not only was this proof of a giant, it's proof that the CIA murdered the guy for filming the giant. I think people are at this point where they are legitimately believing everything as if we're back in the like actual early ages of humans. I saw on TikTok and Twitter, this blew up, the TikTok giant. God, what was the guy's name though? There was a guy on TikTok who took a video of a mountain and there was a big figure on top of the mountain. It's like, oh shit, it's a giant. And then people believed it. They're like, we've seen the proof, the giants are real. And now the person behind the account's not posting. The person's gone missing. So they're like, the government must have got him and killed him for exposing the truth. It's so fucking crazy how, like, I actually think there have been irreparable damage done to the human brain because of TikTok. These are people, adults, actual adults. You know, why don't I just pull up the Twitter account that was talking about it? Talking about how it's the truth, there was really a giant there, we've known all along, and now that this guy blew the lid on it, the CIA got him and killed him. And then the guy leaned into it, he made this video about how it's all fake and it looked like a hostage video, and they're like, oh my god, irrefutable proof, you can see that the CIA is making him say these things. Where's the original post? Here's the video in question though. Andrew Dawson, thank you. Oh, it's a giant
person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
I knew they were here. I've known all along the giants existed. They called me a fool. Also, it's dangerous to scroll in the comments, but I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm not even gonna bother with the Council of Cock being down there as a possibility. Someone went on, like, Google Earth. They went over that mountain, and it turns out it's just a tower. It's just legitimately just a tower. But that didn't dissuade the believers. So, what they're saying is they must have built the tower after this video came out in order to hide the truth that there was a giant there. I shit you not. That was their explanation for it being a tower over there. They said that they made it. They put that tower in place in order to obfuscate. But this is what's on the other side. I think the top comment on this is still, the government put that there in order to hide the truth. I'm gambling, but I think I'm right with this. Okay, not the one. You, another person that's trying to keep information no one cares about hidden. Everyone knows it was a giant, everyone still doesn't care. We care about the man being murdered for discovering it, though. We don't trust you. Isn't that crazy? They think the government killed this guy because he caught a video of a giant. That is the human brain in 2023. He did exactly what I told you guys I wanted to do with this whole gullible TikTok brain rot. Remember when I was telling you guys my plan of doing like haunted videos around the warehouse where like chairs move on their own? He did that with this. So after he got that video, he made this video, where he leaned into it, exactly what I said I would do in order to farm.
Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They were just fake. They were just strictly for it.
So, he leaned into it. He made this video like, it's all fake, you know, this and that, and he made it look like he was under duress. So people are like, clearly the CIA got to him. They're making him say these things. He did every single thing I said I would do with my farming of these fucking idiots. And they believe him fully. They believe he found a giant up here, and then the government killed him. It's so good. We live in an age where everyone has access to a video recording device at all times. Pretty much every nook and cranny of the world's been explored, and a fucking giant would be one of the hardest things to miss. And somehow, this is a confirmed giant, and it's just a coincidence that there happens to be a tower on the other side of this. Wholeheartedly believe it. This isn't even the biggest Twitter thread about it. There was a thread by this lady who's in her early 30s talking about how the government can't be trusted because they're killing us for finding the truth of things they don't want us to know about, citing this video as an example of the giant. And I believe the same woman also started talking about how they're killing people who are finding gnomes. But I may be getting her confused with someone else that was talking about it. People legitimately are believing in fairy tales again. We're going so far backwards. Charlie working for the government. I'm trying to keep you guys from the truth. You're not ready for giants. Those fucking bastards. Filthy monsters they are. I'm doing you a favor. You're not ready to... You can't handle it. Now, looking into it, there was an obituary posted for this individual from a local news source. So it is possible that he did pass away in early 2022, but people are attributing that death to a mysterious circumstance, and it being the CIA that took him out, like it was fucking Jack Bauer on a vendetta to kill this man because he had seen a giant. Why? Well, I don't know. That's not a question that ever gets asked in these situations. Just going through any natural thought process here and breaking it down, what would the government have to gain from hiding giants? Unless they have some kind of secret alliance with the giant tribe, there's just absolutely no reason they'd want to shut this shit down, put the kibosh on it. Or unless if you look at a giant in the eyes, it gives you eternal life or something, and the government's hoarding that to themselves, or their urine acts like the fountain of youth. Just nothing adds up here when you start connecting the dots. This isn't like a Men in Black situation where they're hiding aliens by going around and neuralizing everyone who sees alien activity, where the excuse there is they don't want people to panic. When it comes to giants, that'd be the hardest thing in the world to keep the lid on. Like the cat would get out of the bag so quickly, because it's a fucking giant. They're huge. They're enormous. This one, assuming patient zero here was truly a giant, this one was spotted on top of a mountain fucking 40 miles away. So you'd have a real tough time. You'd have your work cut out for you to keep that under wraps. It just, like, and even if there were giants, the existence of them probably wouldn't cause a panic on the same level as, like, aliens or anything. There's absolutely no reason for the government to be hiding the existence of giants. And I can't believe I even have to say that. I feel like I'm having a conversation with, like, the D&D club at a middle school.
I think that's the same vehicle from... Hey!
Now let's break down this little humdinger here. People use this video as proof that the CIA was hunting him down and stalking him because he made this video. He's very clearly leaning into it if you ask me. But let's do a basic thought experiment here. How likely is it that this is staged? Very. It got millions of views, so there's real incentive to play on it. How easy would it be to fake? Extremely. All you need is your friend to sit in a car outside and then drive away when you come out and yell at them. Like, just look at the video. There's just a random car out there with their lights on. So if they're stalking, they're doing a terrible job. They're just sitting right in plain view outside of his house with their lights on. That'd be the worst tale ever. They would be fired from the CIA immediately because they're fucking terrible at their job. Like, at that point, the CIA might as well have a sign out there saying, "We're watching you. Honk if you like government surveillance." Like, this would be genuinely the worst stalking ever from the CIA. And then the guy comes outside and scares the car away like a flock of pigeons on the beach. It's an extremely easy thing to stage. Where's the proof that that is some kind of unmarked CIA vehicle and an operative in there stalking him? The video just starts where he looks out the blinds and the car's already just sitting there in front of his house with his lights on. I think this is so clearly staged in order to play off of the success of the giant video, because it got a lot of attention and a lot of engagement. Now, he hasn't posted on TikTok since 2022, and like I said, there is an obituary posted in a local news source, so it is very possible he did pass away, but I will tell you right now, I highly, highly, highly doubt the government had anything to do with that. Because, again, there's no such thing as fucking giants out there. Sorry to ruin Christmas, but it's the truth. It's a tough pill to swallow, but one you've got to grow up and take right now. I would love if there were giants out there. No one would be happier than me. I would absolutely be ecstatic to learn that giants really are out there and they're coming back. You know, and then they start their own sports league or something. It'd be amazing. I'd be super excited about that. I'd also love if there was a such thing as psychics and telekinetic abilities, as well as being able to form a Kamehameha ball in the palm of my hands if I focus real hard. I would love all of that kind of fantasy shit to be real. But it's not. So there's just nothing the government would do here about a man filming a video claiming he saw a giant, because giants aren't real. So they're not gonna fucking care. It's not like he actually exposed a government secret. They'd have no reason to go silence him. This is just a wild case of people believing anything and everything they see, for no reason other than they have fun believing it. And then they fight tooth and nail for it, even when they are faced with the absolute truth of what the situation is. It's wild. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya.